Interpreter for this hour is Walter Asewe. Let's just run our Twitter poll question by you once more, and it centers around the Ugatuzi initiative, and we're asking you this question. Now, do you support the fresh push for a referendum by Kenya governors through hashtag Ugatuzi initiative? Do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through the Ugatuzi initiative? You engage us on hashtag K24 Daily Brief at K24 TV at Sama W Njoroge. Let us know what you think about this particular topic. And at the top of the hour, we shall be sampling your feedback right here on the Daily Brief. Right now, let's take you to Nakuru County. And here is our reporter, K24 Mwangi. Your voice is being sampled in as far as various issues is concerned, and right now he's focusing on indiscipline in schools and the rising suicide cases, and he has a panel to discuss that issue. So K24, take it away.
It has been an issue that we have been following up over the past 1 week. Sam Njoroge, a student being harassed by a teacher, and another student in Consolata Primary School having recorded vulgar videos that went viral online, and people saying that parents are leaving their kids to be taught by the world, by the internet, and also others discussing the same issue and saying that current parentage or the current crop of parents are becoming parents so early, such that they cannot be able to handle the pressure that comes with parenting and going to work. What exactly are we going through? What is the role of the community? What is the role of the parent? What is the role of the caregivers in school as teachers, and what is the role of the law enforcers? Those are some of the questions that we are going to be tackling here. And joining me now is Alice Njeri, whose brother got lost last week on Sunday, and she attributes whatever her brother is going through from school, that the school gave her brother a lot of pressure for performance, such that he decided to go away. And before he ran away from school, he had made a mannequin of himself having committed suicide. That is a case that is very sensitive. And next to him, next to her is Wakili Joe Okeo, who is going to be giving us the legal part of it. What are we supposed to be doing in terms of making sure that discipline is maintained in school? And also, what are some of the legal parameters that we are supposed to follow in terms of discipline? And on my far left is Mwalimu Simon, who is going to be telling us exactly what are they going through in schools, especially now that parents have said no kiboko in school, and also teachers are feeling overwhelmed by the content that these kids are consuming from home. What are they doing? Do they feel intimidated sometimes by these kids? And to start with, Alice, you have said that your brother had made some mannequin to symbolize himself having committed suicide. Yes. Exactly. Tell us what your brother was going through.
My brother has been going with a lot of pressure from school. He has been running away. Like this was that time, and we expected him to come back on because he ran away on Sunday. We expected him to be back on Sunday, but unfortunately, he did not come back.
Right now, he's not anywhere. What about the mobile phone that he was using?
The mobile phone he was using is out of reach for now. Yeah.
Have you reported this case, and what exactly did he say about maybe school and whatever that he was going through?
He has been complaining about the school.
Yes.
He has been complaining a lot about school, and he mentioned to me last time that he wants to attack shule. That's what he told me.
Pengine kwa ile hali ya kuchange shule, nyinyi kama wazazi mlichukua hatua ya kwenda kuzungumza na shule, mjue kwa nini yule kijana anataka kubadilika?
Hapana, tulidhani ni ile pressure ya mtoto ataki shule.
Kwa hivyo
hatukuchukua hatua. Yes.
Ni sawa sawa. Tutarudi kwa baadaye. Wakili, it has been something that has come into the limelight by the Consolata kid who was vulgar, who was do we have a legal parameter whereby parents and teachers can use to correct these kids who are becoming so foul-mouthed?
Unfortunately, we are becoming, as a society, we are becoming more of a liberal society and a society that is extremely permissive. So probably that might explain why we are seeing young kids, they're becoming wayward and more vulgar because of what we are exposing them to. But yes, there are certain rights that these young kids have, and it's anchored in the Children's Act of Kenya. Children's Act of Kenya, in the wisdom of Parliament, it amalgamated different statutes and different elements of law and ratified some of them. These instruments are the ones that are used to guide the children. So now the question in regards to the child of the pupil at Consolata would be, has he attained the age of criminal responsibility? That's a key element in deciding how to handle the legal aspect of that child. And if he has, what rights are exposed to him as a child of the school?
As a legal mind, what exactly are we looking into? Do we have a platform whereby such a kid can be rehabilitated or taken to a rehab?
Yes, yes, actually, and I think the best way forward for that kid is for either child remand, okay, or a rehab. But again, there's another school of thought that says in most cases when they are taken to rehabs, they end up coming out more worse than they were when they were going in there. Because remember, these institutions sometimes, as well-meaning as they might have been, when the drafters of those, children remand house, rehabilitation centers were, when thinking of it, it's an assembly of children with similar characters. Okay. So perhaps we need to ask ourselves, will it do them more good or more bad? But a quick one. Parents have a responsibility. Parents have a role on the well-being and the moral healthiness of this kid. Okay. Perhaps that's what we should involve.
Yes. Mwalimu, you are the second parents to these kids.
Yes.
You are the ones who receive them from the parents.
Right.
What exactly are you going through? Do you feel that you have been given more responsibility than you were supposed to be handling?
Well, it's not that it is extra responsibility, because all of us need to be responsible. All of us have got a role to play. What we need to do is to work hand in hand. We have to partner with the parents. Because when you see a behavior in a child, it is reflecting what is inside this child. This child is only trying to vet out what is within. So unless we address the cause and the challenges that we are having, we shall not be going anywhere.
No,
so
this is a kid who has been born and brought up to the age of 14 or 12 years.
Yes.
Are we programming our kids to be vulgar? Are we the role models that the kids are carrying to the world, to online platforms, and also to school?
We are supposed to be role models, the environment at large, not one person, not only the parent. It's everybody, the teachers, everybody who is coming into contact with this child, including the media. So what is this child exposed to? Inside this child, we are having children who are coming from different environments, and we have a lot of challenges. So when we see a child with a behavior that is deviating from the normal, you don't rush into disciplinary measures. But first of all, talk to the child, understand the child. Because in most cases, you talk to a child and you realize what the child could be complaining about is not what is actually ailing the child. It is, we are having a society that is actually suffering, where we have all run out of away from our duties. But if we came back to our responsibilities as a society and know that this child belongs to all of us, yes, that's the only time we are going to correct this.
As a teacher, you have been teaching a class of maybe a minimum of 20. All these 20 kids come from different parents.
Yes.
Maybe 10 of them have this character of being vulgar and everything. Don't you think that you are handling something that is beyond your capacity or beyond your training?
If we all work together, it would be easy. But if we have parents who are not responsible, because actually the main problem starts from home, because the parent is the first teacher. And if the environment at home is not setting a role model, then we all go out. We have cases where children come and they become angry, they vent out anger to the other children. But the moment you sit down with this child, you realize this child maybe is seeing a behavior with the parent. But since he cannot beat the father, he says not to beat the one who is weak in class.
Yes.
But if you talk to this child, you realize this is anger projected towards the father, but now vented out to the wrong person.
Yes. Wakiri, in a quick one, is it time we introduce corporal punishment in school, or what are other ways of punishing kids that are supposed to be disciplined?
I do not think whether corporal punishment in itself is a solution. While it might play a role to a smaller extent, but if you look at it from a different prism, you realize that it probably will do more damage. I think the best way is putting in place, even at the household level, be of moral aptitudeness, show guidance to these young kids, understand that the era they're living in is one that exposes them to different social platforms, and they might be able to they will learn a lot of that along the way. They pick a lot of that, so guide them and tell them what is right to do and what might not be right.
Yes. Your brother might be watching K24 brief this morning.
Yes.
I want you to speak to your brother. Tell him to come back home. You don't fear him. You will be able to handle him. And next time, you will be able to listen to what he says.
My brother Shem Kirago Mwangi, if at all you are watching this channel right now, I'm speaking to you. Please come back home. We love you so much. And this time round, we are going to give you an ear. Listen to all you want. I'm going to be there for you. All of us, even Dad love you so much. Mom love you so much. Our life is so much in tears right now, but please come back. Just come back. Shem, please.
It is a prayer that we are all saying that Shem will be found alive, and he is going to resume school, and he is going to get the support that he wants. It is a discussion that we have held over the past 1 month. Are our kids going the right way? What is causing the rise in crime in school, vulgar language, and also suicide? The other time, we found out that a 14-year-old girl committed suicide because the teacher and the fraternity in school did not appreciate that she was getting her menses. It is just a sorry state, and we are going to be looking for the brother, and we are going to make sure that wherever he is going to be found. My name is K24 Mwangi. My camera person is John Wangombe. We take you back to Sam Njoroge for the rest of the day. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, K24 Mwangi, for that update live from Nakuru County. An appeal being made to Shem. Your family members have just spoken, so we do hope that you've heard. Now we need to take you to Uasin Gishu County and bring in our reporter Timothy Simwa, who joins us live from this region with an update from Uasin Gishu. Tim.
Samuel, in our briefing in the morning, I did actually indicate to you that the County Commander of Police in Uasin Gishu, Johnson Ipara, had called for a press briefing to just tell members of the public and Kenyans at large on an impoundment they carried out yesterday in a neighboring county, that is in Nandi County, at a place called Mosoriot. Some these tractors you're seeing behind me right now, with a number of police officers who continue to do some bit of inspection, were impounded from a compound in Nandi County from the suspect who's now behind bars by the name Gideon Kipkosgei. Of course, there were 8 vehicles and 5 tractors. Some of the vehicles are said to be high-end vehicles. Just on my right-hand side, this is a Mercedes-Benz, and according to the police, they are saying that it's not even in use. It must have been just imported a few weeks ago. There are at least 3 theories Mr. Ipara is trying to draw in this impoundment. One is saying that perhaps these vehicles and these tractors were meant for transit in our neighboring country, or other neighboring countries, or either they were smuggled into the country, and at the end of the day, this suspect seeking to evade payment of taxes. Maybe some allow me just to maybe bring in the sound of Mr. Johnson Ipara in his statement that he did actually brief members of the press in the morning, and get to hear what he had to say.
Yeah, thank you so much, our brothers and sisters from the media. We are here today so that we can brief you on the operation that we did carry yesterday. The operation we did carry yesterday was based on intelligence that was given to us by our special unit, whose assignment is to assist to crack down on big challenges that the general police officer is not able to do. This particular intelligence information led us down to Nandi County at a place called Tabwa within Mosoret, in the home of one Gideon Kipkoskei. Within the home compound, we were able to recover 13 vehicles in total. Out of that, 8 were vehicles, 5 were tractors. And all these vehicles that I'm mentioning are what you are seeing behind me. In these vehicles, upon a quick check on them, we found that most of them, the chases had been tampered with, which gave us an indication that these vehicles are either diverted transit goods into the local market, and we also concluded that these particular persons avoided paying relevant taxes to the Kenyan government. And also we believe that if they are not transit goods, these are goods that were smuggled into this country from the neighboring countries without following the laid down procedure. And upon that, we decided to recover all the vehicles, towed them at the police station here in Eldoret. The reason why we did this, we wanted to simplify the logistics so that we can draw the multi-agencies to come and help us. Number one, by tape lifting, to find out where did these other original numbers that do not appear in the NTSA data. 2, we wanted also to help other people who may have reported in other parts of this country their stolen property in the name of a tractor or a vehicle. We want to make an appeal to the Kenyan people that if you are one person maybe who bought a vehicle or a tractor from the person named, you should present that vehicle within the shortest time possible to Eldoret Police Station so that due diligence can be done into it by verifying the details of that vehicle and by checking with the NTSA whether it is there. And you can also do it on your own. Check with the NTSA the vehicle that you bought, whether it is reflected. And where you find that it's not reflected, you should make quick conclusions that that is a suspected stolen property that is in your possession, which you should surrender to the nearest police station so that the police can pick it up from there. At that juncture, I want first of all to take a few questions to you before we proceed. One thing I want to tell you, already we have officers all over across the country. We don't want to make an assumption of what it is. We shall give you at the appropriate time the right information that will satisfy the demands and the worries the Kenyans have. One thing I want to assure you, this person could not be able alone to work on his own. He has a cartel spread across the country and within the government departments. And that's why he was able to get even the numbers that he fixed on some of those vehicles. If you check our Mercedes that is on my right, this is a new vehicle. A new vehicle in the market. That's why we are following. And these were what made us to reach where we are. There's a big cartel. You remember very well there are people moving around the country, and we, as Uasin Gishu County, we are also affected. And we've run around, you remember, in the recent time we've been able to arrest 3 persons who are before court, charged for theft of motor vehicles. So it is a big cartel that we are ready to crush.
Yeah, well, that was the Uasin Gishu Police County Commander Johnston Ipara giving us a statement as far as the issue of the impoundment of those vehicles, or rather these vehicles behind me, is concerned. Of course, pointing out a various number of issues ranging from smuggling and evasion of tax, and perhaps a syndicate that could be involved in car theft. So just to let you know is that in the recent past, cases of car theft has also been on the rise in Eldoret town, and this is an issue that police have been working round the clock to make sure that they curb these cases. In the meantime, of course, we'll be waiting just to see the kind of charges the police are going to prefer against the suspect said to be behind bars at the moment, one Gideon Kipkosgei. And of course, we are expecting that by tomorrow he will have been arraigned in court. It's a story that we continue to follow up closely, Sam, and we'll be keeping our viewers up to speed with every single bit of it in our subsequent bulletin. Sam.
Thank you so much, Timothy Simwa, for living up to your word and giving us more briefs on the story that you told us that you'll be following up on from Uasin Gishu County. The exercise is still ongoing, identifying those vehicles, and we've heard more from Johnston Ipara. So in case one of your vehicles is stored and it's there, you know the drill, because Timothy Simwa has already given us the details. Now, we ran a Twitter poll question by you earlier during this hour, and we told you to go to our online platforms, that is at K24 TV and at Sam W. Njoroge, to tell us what you think about this issue. And it's all about your support, or the lack of it, for the fresh push for a referendum by governors through the Ugatuzi initiative. Do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through the Ugatuzi initiative? You are to engage us, or you're still engaging us on hashtag K24 Daily Brief, at Sam W. Njoroge, at K24 TV. So we are yet to pick your responses. Do that now, Director, or a little later? Okay, let's take a break first, but when we return, we shall be taking your feedback in as far as this issue is concerned.
You're nothing but a bully.
What I can do, until the day my heart stops beating, is calculating and preparing. But then, that night, God started messing with me.
Oh my!
I love you, Soon-Jung, and I'm sorry.
I love you too.
So it's you, the tough secretary, Kim Soon...
I'm Kim Soon-Jung. Why would I need such clothes?
Within the terms of agreement is a term to be silent about what happens. If you dare disclose anything, I will destroy your whole life. You're right. Even though I'm alive, I only think about destroying someone.
From 23rd September, Safaricom is bringing you something big. Get ready for incredible deals of up to 50% off on smartphones that are out of this world. Get your Bonga points ready for the coolest, trendiest, sleekest smartphones on offer. Dial *126# to check or sambaza your Bonga points. Offers will be available at all Safaricom shops, dealer outlets and masoko.com.
Welcome back to the program. And the Council of Governors has launched its own initiative aimed at reviewing the country's constitution, dubbed Ugatuzi Initiative, which the county chiefs say is aimed at strengthening devolution and the devolved structures. The proposal, which was made public by Council of Governors Chair Wycliffe Oparanya, seeks to expand the executive by creating positions of the Prime Minister as the head of government, while the president remains the head of state. It also proposes to have a percentage of cabinet secretaries coming from parliament. And here is Shukri Wachu with that report.
For the last couple of months, the county chiefs have been at the mercy of both houses of parliament as the standoff over the division of revenue bill persisted, denying them the much-needed funds before it was assented to by the president this week.
That's what is the best news.
The frustration by the county chiefs has led to the creation of the Ugatuzi initiative, which they say will help them protect the devolved units from forces opposed to devolution. This being the third initiative after the Punguza Mizigo and the BBI that seeks to review the country's law.
We would like our proposal to be considered by Kenyans alongside all those other proposals. And for us, our main focus is to bring more resources to our counties.
Among the proposals by the COG is expansion of the executive, which will see the reintroduction of the office of the Prime Minister, who will be the head of government, while the President remains the head of state. The Ugatuzi initiative also proposes that the cabinet consist of not more than 18 ministers and 22 deputies from among members of parliament, and at least 1/3 to be appointed from outside parliament. Each county must be represented in the government by either a cabinet minister, deputy minister, or a principal secretary. The initiative also proposes a change in the structure of governance, where the Senate will have preeminence over all bills emanating from the National Assembly, including money bills, establishing the Senate as the higher house supervising the National Assembly. Approve appointments to all constitutional offices. The President shall also not assent to any bill unless passed by the Senate. The proposal is also calling for the formation of a Senate Service Commission.
We establish government so that the lives of people can be improved. Let's ask ourselves those questions in receiving these proposals that are coming from Ugatuzi, Punguza Mzigo, and even the BBI.
The details of how even these people will be elected will be made public to you.
Political experts say the Ugatuzi initiative and proponents of the BBI may be speaking the same language. It will most likely find convergence once the BBI report is made public, and mostly so when it comes to the expansion of the executive. In a bid to improve the democratic space in the country, the COG is also proposing the lead of the party or coalition of parties with the second largest number of seats in the National Assembly becomes the official leader of the opposition. He or she shall have a deputy leader of opposition. The leader of the opposition shall also appoint a shadow cabinet. Will they also draw salaries from the exchequer? Governors also want to be in charge of the county security, with all security agencies in the county level reporting directly to them. A proposal expected to draw a lot of resistance from security stakeholders and the national government, who insist security must remain the sole mandate of the national government. The initiative is also calling for the total independence and security of tenure of the Office of the Attorney General, as well as the formation of a law office and an Attorney General at the county level. The Ugatuzi initiative now joins the Punguza Mizigo initiative, led by Third Way Alliance leader Ekuru Aukot, and the Building Bridges initiative, which is also seeking to reform the constitution.
Do they want security chiefs to be reporting to them directly? That is the governors? Well, that is one of the interesting things contained in the Ugatuzi initiative, and it is the basis of our question, our Twitter poll this day, where we're asking this question: do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through Ugatuzi initiative? Do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through Ugatuzi initiative? We're taking your feedback in as far as this question is concerned in just a few. But before we get to take your feedback, let's take you to Murang'a County and bring in our reporter, Alfred Maina. There he is, joining us live from this region with an update on what has been, forming the news diary from Murang'a. Alfred?
Na asante sana Samuel Njoroge na kupata vizuri kutoka katika shule ya msingi ya mjini. Hapa ni ambapo iko katika eneo bunge la Kiharu katika wadi ya township, na ambapo tumeweza kuungana na wazazi na pia mbunge wa eneo hili. Kwani kuna tuhuma kwamba eneo bunge hili ama katika wadi hii kuna shule tu moja ambayo ni ya kutwa, ambapo wanafunzi wamekuwa wengi na wangependekeza iwepo kungekuwa na shule nyingine ili wanafunzi waweze tu kugawanyika waweze kusomea katika shule nyingine. Na kuna mpango ambao uko na mbunge eneo hili ni Nyoro, ambapo wanapenda kwamba ile shule ya chekechea iliyoko katika eneo hili iweze kuhamishwa, iweze kubadilishwa ili iweze kujenga shule ya upili ambao wanafunzi walikuwa kienda nyumbani kila jioni. Naweza tu kuungana tu na mheshimiwa hapa aweze kutueleza mipango alionayo katika hii.
Nashukuru sana na nimeshukuru kuwa hapa mjini. Mjini ni base yetu kwa sababu mimi ni hustler na mahasla wenzangu wanakuanga hapa. Na tunawashikilia vizuri sana. Unaangalia kama hizi shule madarasa vile yako. Kitambo haikuwa hivyo, hata ukiangalia ile ya mwisho pale. Na tunaendelea na hiyo mradi ya kubadilisha shule ya mjini hata tunapobadilisha zingine kule nje. Na hapa nje ukienda pia utapata kuna rami ambayo tunaweka. Imetoka kule pahali inaitwa Mkoria Hongo, inapita Mombi na pia inaserve hapa watu wa mjini. Lakini siku ya leo tumekuja kwa two reasons. Na the first reason is that hakuko hivyo kwa shule zingine Kiharu ya kwamba unaona nursery ama PP1 na PP2 ama ECD ziko nje ya shule. Na inakuwa very hard even for Madam Christine, who is our head teacher here, to monitor what goes on the other side. So tukakaa chini na hawa watu wa mjini na wakanieleza wangetaka hiyo shule ya chekechea ihamishwe kutoka kule chini ikuje hapa, na niko na matarajio makuu ya kwamba tukitoka hapa siku ya leo chekechea ya mjini itakuwa hapa mjini primary. Na pia tukitoka hapa siku ya leo niko na matarajio. Tuko na shujaa wa hii nchi yetu anaitwa Kenneth Matiba. Na tungetaka pia asikike miaka zote katika hapa mjini na Kiharu mzima. Kwa hivyo ukitazama hapa kuna hii check ambayo iko hapa ambayo tumeleta. Tuko na madarasa zile chekechea inatoka na sasa tuta renovate na tuanze sekondari, na tumeallocate hii pesa ya kwanza na this financial year pia tumeallocate zingine kwa sababu tunataka kutengeneza shule ya sekondari ambayo itakuwa inaitwa Kenneth Matiba Secondary School. Na kwa hayo yote sifanyagi peke yangu, nafanya na hawa wazazi na pia sana huyu shujaa ako hapa na ningetaka atukaribie kwa sababu haezi kosa kitu ya kusema. MCA wa area hii ni mtu ambaye tunashikana vizuri sana na anashikilia watu wa mjini, na ndiye alinipatia hiyo advice ya kwamba ni vizuri kwa sababu hii township mzima we only have one secondary school. Akanieleza ni vizuri tukue na moja hapa mjini, na kwa sababu tunaongoza tukiwa team ningetaka pia yeye anene.
Sasa Samuel, umesikia ni kwamba angependekeza mwakilishi wa wadi kutoka township aweze kutuzungumza na sisi.
Asante sana, shukran. Kwa majina naitwa Jacinta Wangare na mimi ndio MCA wa eneo hili la Township Ward, ambapo mjini primary school ni moja ya maeneo ambayo tuko katika Township Ward. Ningetaka leo kuchukua nafasi hii kumshukuru sana mbunge wetu wa Kiharu, Mheshimiwa Dede Nyoro, kwa hiyo jambo ambalo anataka kutufanyia kama watu wa mjini. Hiyo jambo ambalo anataka kufanya ni jambo ambayo itakuwa kihistoria katika mjini, kwa sababu hiyo ni mambo ambaye imekuwa ikisumbua watu wa mjini sana. Na ambapo mbunge wetu anasema mambo ya kuwa na secondary school hapa ni vizuri, kwa sababu anatuonesha vizuri kwamba ameshika mambo ya elimu sana, kwa sababu sisi tunasema hakuna kitu ambao unaweza kupatia mtoto, hakuna utajiri wote ambao unaweza kupatia mtoto ila masomo peke yake, kwa sababu ukipatia mtoto masomo hiyo mambo mengine atakuja kujifanyia. Kwa hivyo sisi watu wa mjini, asante sana mheshimiwa wetu, tunakushukuru sana, na hasa pia tumeona mjini imebadilika kama yale mashule mengine. Tumeona kwamba chini ya CDF, chini ya kiongozi wetu Mheshimiwa Dede Nyoro, tunaona mashule ambayo vile amefanya renovation. Ungekuja mjini kama miaka 5 hivyo ambayo imeisha, ungependa kuhitanishwa na shule ya mjini. Lakini sasa mjini inaenda sasa ile level kama ya academy. Kila mtu anataka kuwa hapa mjini, kwa sababu ukiangalia vile shule, vile roofing imefanywa, vile mpaka painting imefanywa, mpaka pia floor tumeona vile hayo mambo yote imefanywa. Na mheshimiwa ni kuahidi kwamba hiyo shule ya secondary tukileta watoto hapa wale wa nursery school wakija hapa pia watataka kuja shule kubwa. Tulipokuwa tukienda shule nursery tulikuwa tunatamani kuwa tunavaa hiyo uniform ya wao kubwa, tunatamani kuwa kama hao. Kwa hivyo pia hiyo it's a motivation kwa wale watoto wadogo, wakija hapa pia watataka kuenda shule. Kwa hivyo tunakushukuru sana mheshimiwa wetu.
Asante, umesikia ni ya kutia motisha. Nizungumze tu na mwalimu mkuu katika shule hii aweze kutueleza mambo yake.
Asante sana. Ningependa kushukuru sana kwa siku ya leo hafla hii ya leo imewezeshwa na mheshimiwa wetu, na tunamshukuru kwa sababu ametuwezesha. Na kama vile nimeulizwa kusema jina langu ni Christine Michubu. Mimi ndio mwalimu mkuu wa shule hii. Na tunashukuru kwa siku ya leo kwa mheshimiwa kupata nafasi kuja shuleni mwetu ili kutuletea maendeleo. Mwaka uliopita alituwezesha kupata viti 90 na lockers 90 ambazo zinatumiwa na wanafunzi wetu watainiwa wa mwaka huu. Na vile vile renovation ya madarasa 5 ambao ametuwezesha kuwa sasa tuko starehe darasani. Kwa hivyo hatuna changamoto kubwa ile ya kutukosesha kuweza kufanya vizuri katika mitihani yetu. Na sasa kwa sababu ya darasa hilo la chekechea ambalo liko mbali na sisi, ikiwezekana ikifika hapa, basi tunajua kwamba tutakuwa na msingi dhabiti katika shule yetu, na tutaendelea kupiga hatua katika masomo yetu na vile vile kufanya vizuri zaidi, na Mwenyezi Mungu ataendelea kutubariki na kutuzidishia. Asante sana our honorable.
Asante sana. Naweza tu kuzungumza na imam katika eneo hili, kwani hii shule iko katika kijiji kilicho na Waislamu wengi, na huyu ndiye imam katika eneo hili.
Asante sana. Majina yangu ni Alhaji Shabani Kakere Bakari. Mimi ni kiongozi wa mji huu na vile vile ni Deputy National Coordinator wa Baraza la Maimamu na Wahubiri nchini Kenya. Kwanza shukrani zangu ni kwa Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala ambaye ametujalia leo hii tukaweza kuwa katika kongamano kama hili la kheri kubwa. Na furaha yangu kubwa leo mimi mzee ni kwamba hapa tulipo ndipo tuliposimama na Kenneth Matiba tukiwa vijana. Yeye ndiye alijenga darasa 6 za kwanza hapa, tukiwa sisi tumetoka katika kusomea shule za udongo. Na furaha yangu iliyojaa ndani ya moyo wangu ni kwamba leo shujaa huyu tunaye MP ameingia ndani ya viatu vya Kenneth Matiba kama glove. Na Mwenyezi Mungu amwezeshe. Shule hii imepata kipaumbele kikubwa sana kutoka mheshimiwa alipokalia kiti. Na tunamshukuru na tunamwombea Mwenyezi Mungu ampe nguvu. Sisi kama baraza la maimamu tuna university 2 katika nchi hii ya Kenya. University moja campus iko hapa Thika na nyingine iko Kajiado. Wakati wa kusema shule haina madeski, haina infrastructure, haina nini, haina chekechea umekwisha. Changamoto sasa ni kwa walimu. Sasa musomeshe. Tuna nafasi katika university, tuna scholarships ambayo university hizi hakuna watoto wa Central Province. Watoto ndani ya university hizi ni watoto wa kutoka Northeastern na Mombasa peke yake na kule kwingine Uganda na Tanzania. Tunataka kuanzisha mikakati mikali, tuwe na watoto wetu waache kwenda kufanya kazi za uboi Saudi Arabia. Waende Saudi Arabia kufanya kazi katika ofisi za mabalozi zile ziko huko. Na kisomo hichi kinasomwa hapa Thika, mahali ambao kwamba hata mguu mtu atakwenda. Kinasomwa Kajiado. Wale wengine wanafanya kazi katika ofisi mazuri, sisi tunabaki kuchukuliwa watoto wetu kwenda kufanywa wapagazi na Waarabu kule. Tujikomboe. Mwenyezi Mungu ametuletea shujaa, ametutengenezea shule. Changamoto ni kwa walimu, watoto wasome. Nafasi ziko, pesa ziko za kusomesha watoto. Na saa hii kuna vijana wanakuja hapa msikitini leo siku ya Ijumaa. Waislamu wote wawe hapa msikitini. Kuna kuja brochures, kuna kuja pamphlet na scholarships za African Muslim Agency. Na sisi tuweze kuchukua nafasi hiyo. Tuna watoto 3 sasa kutoka nilipoingia katika shughuli za hii college miezi 2 iliyokwisha, tumemanage kupata watoto 3. Tunataka mwaka ujao tuwe na watoto zaidi ya 50 kwa Rayoge kuona kou. Thank you.
Asante sana Samuel, nimesikia ni kwamba wewe ni imam katika eneo hili. Nizungumze tu na mzazi mmoja aweze kutuambia hisia zake.
Hamjambo. Kwa majina naitwa Zuhura Kariamburi, mini board member wa shule ya Mjini Primary School. Sisi tunashukuru sana siku ya leo kwa sababu mgeni wetu wa Kiharu Ndende Nyoro ametufanyia mengi. Amefanya mengi katika mwaka huu na mwaka jana. Hii shule yetu ilikuwa nyuma sana, lakini sasa tunashukuru kwa sababu madarasa yetu ukiona utafikiri ni academy. Watu wengine wakija hapa fikiri ni academy, lakini si academy, lakini itakuwa academy kwa vile amefanya kazi nzuri. Pia tunashukuru county government yetu kwamba MC yetu iko hapa vile tunamshukuru kwa sababu ameshikana pamoja wanaendeleza maendeleo. Kwa hivyo tunajua ugatuzi ni kusema nini? Ni kuleta maendeleo mashinani. Ugatuzi tunaona ni nini? Ugatuzi ni kusema national government wetu tumempeleka huko, ametuletea maendeleo ya CDF. CDF inatusaidia. Msifikiri pesa zingine zimetoka wapi? Zimetoka kwa serikali kuu. Serikali kuu ikaleta mashinani. Na mheshimiwa wetu amepigania huko katika bunge lake, anamipigana mpaka sasa tumepata pesa nyingi zaidi hapa. Na sasa hii nimeona hapa cheki ambayo inatoka kwa marehemu ambaye alikuwa bunge wetu zamani na alitusaidia hapa mjini primary school, ambaye tumepata 1,000,000. Hiyo 1,000,000 itafanya kazi nyingi zaidi. Na wengine tunawakaribisha waje wamsaidie mheshimiwa wetu Ndende Nyoro. Wabunge wengine wa Kiharu wa kaunti yetu nzima. Hata gavana wetu tunamwalika atusaidie katika shule yetu. Shukrani.
Asante sana. Samuel, nimesikia hizo ni semi za mkazi wa eneo hili. Naweza tu kusikia mheshimiwa anataka kusema.
Ile mpango tunafanya hapa kwa sababu Kiharu ni pana sana. Tuko na mashule kama za primary over 105 na ukienda zingine hata hapa township utapata tunafanya holistic renovation. Hata tiles tunaweka, na pia hapa mjini najua mwaka ujao hawa watu ambao ni watoto wa mahasla kama mimi watasomea shule ambayo inakaa academy. Lakini ya mwisho, mwanasiasa hakosi kitu ya siasa kidogo. Na ningesema sisi hapa Kiharu tuko gagari kabisa, na ningetaka kuomba mtu ambaye ni kama baba yangu Maina Kamanda a respect president wetu. President alisema kule Kibra tuko na candidate, yeye siku ya pili anaenda kwa Raila ambaye sasa anasema atauga mkono mtu ambaye ni wa ODM. Sisi hapa Mount Kenya region tuko nyuma ya rais wetu, na mtu ambaye anaenda kobokobo kama Maina Kamanda tutamtumia wazee wamuongeleshe. Rais akitoa amri tunatii. Na watu wa Kiharu wamesema hiyo vita alikuwa ameleta hapa, hakuna mwanya mwingine wa kuleta vita. Watu wa Kiharu ni watu wa peace. Kwa hivyo kama ni vita wapage huko na Raila, kwa sababu hapo ndio tunajua vita inakuanga.
Msomo umeweza kusikia hizo ni semi za mbunge wa eneo hili. Ameweza kusikia ni kwamba wakazi wameweza kufurahia semi hizi za wakazi, na kuwa shule hili italeta katika maeneo haya. Na tunaendelea kufuata story hii kwa Samuel.
Thank you so much, Alfred Maina, live from Murang'a County with that update on rehabilitation of schools in Murang'a County. Now, he is arguably one of the funniest hawkers in Nairobi, entangling his potential clients with funny jokes to entice them to buy his pencils. He claims to be a university material whose ambition to scale the academic ladder was thwarted by the ravages of poverty 18 years ago. Now, Franklin Masharia tells us how Jackson Kingori is using the competence-based curriculum to propel his pencil hawking trade.
The rat race in the Nairobi Central Business District continues. Everyone seemingly chasing something to eke out a living. And Jackson Kingori is not an exception as he gets into his office.
Thank you. Mimi na wasalimu.
Yes, the numerous public service vehicles are part of his target area for his merchandise of pencils, a trade he has mastered for the last 11 years and added flavor to it.
Hii ni digitalized pencil. Akiona hii composition ya dakika 40 inaandika na dakika 8 tu alale na asitupa hii kifuniko. Hii ni lightning alesta. Penzo nikaona kuambia mtu anunue penzo hapa. Naona hawa watu wote hakuna mtu anaweza nunua, hata wewe. Shika penzo. We, mimi sina mtoto. Yaani unapatana na pigamizi. Sasa nikaona tactic ni moja. Tuweke uogo ukweli, ama ukweli uwe uogo. Uko grade
The 36-year-old man who hails from Nyeri County says he has no fixed price for his pencils, which he procures from wholesalers as long as he's making a profit.
Sitauza 50. 40 hapana. Nani ako na shilingi 30? Apate yake. Uko na 30? Kwa nini hauna? Wengi huishukua positive. Umeingia kuangalia asubuhi ama saizi jioni, mtu ameshoka, Sasa ameona umesimama kwa gari. Sasa huyu ni sadaka anataka. Lakini wakati amesheka, naona baadaye kuna watu hununua kwa sababu ya kusheka tu. You have made my day.
Kingori sells at least 30 pencils in a day, earning a profit of at least 500 shillings. Many may dismiss him as just another academic dwarf, but Kingori says financial challenges pushed him into hawking after clearing his secondary school studies in the year 2001.
Luckily, I got a B minor, lakini hatukuwa well up.
He may not have much for now, but Kingori is a man who believes in endless possibilities. Franklin Masharia, K24.
The story of Jackson there. Does it inspire a soul out there? Well, if it has, we are grateful because such is the spirit behind the Friday edition of the Daily Brief. Remember the Twitter poll question we've been running by you this morning. Where do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through the Ugatuzi initiative? Do you support the fresh push for a referendum by governors through the Ugatuzi initiative? We've been asking you to let us know what your thoughts are at K24 TV, at Sam W. Njoroge, and time has come for us to actually sample your feedback, and the genesis of this particular question dates back to a press briefing that the Council of Governors had yesterday at Delta House, where they outlined their proposals to what they feel should be guiding any amendment to the 2010 Constitution. Now, I would like to take your feedback, and right now I'm on Twitter. Just get a feel of what you have been saying online. Frederick Okango, this is what you say: that we have read the so-called Ugatuzi initiative, and we are happy that it is the Mizigo Kenyans want lowered. Interestingly, it's the curtain raiser for BBI, hashtag K24 a Daily Brief. Thank you so much for that. F. Okango, this is the Secretary General Third Way Alliance. Let's move on to yet another tweet here by Kelvin K6. You say all this push for a referendum is not people-centered. They are just about restructuring government to feed the political elite. That's your voice, Kelvin. Thank you for sharing it with us this day. Omukanda Philip, this is what you say: I support 100%. They should also talk about accountability. Now, that issue has come up especially after the Senate Mashinani initiative has been ongoing in Kitui, where governors from that region did snub the County Public Accounts and Investments Committee, and Kenyans are saying, be accountable, governors. So Emma Mongare says, I don't advocate for it. The governors were given what have they done with it? Or what the governors were given, what have they done with it? Nothing. Only looting. Tumbocrats. That's what you say, Emma. Thank you so much for that. Franz says, you say the Ugatuzi proposal is falling to the old same trap as seen by George Orwell. More equals than Wanjiko. All right, Francis. Thank you so much for that, and we shall sample feedback that far. And as far as that issue is concerned, do you support, the move by governors to have the Constitution amended, but under the proposals they outlined in their Ugatuzi initiative? So that is what you have been telling us today. We do thank you, however, for watching the Daily Brief this day, this week. It has been a pleasure briefing you on what has been happening around you. Now our reporter is on standby and will be getting a press briefing, if not now, then at the top of the hour during Newscut. In as far as the reading of the late Top Cohen's will is concerned, it was supposed to happen today. Has it happened? What is the progress so far? Expect that and much more during Newscut today. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Caroline Jenga is coming up next with Inside Business. I'll be seeing you at 1 p.m. for Newscut. In the meantime, good afternoon.